And then, as I've been telling you again and again, you have to communicate properly, right? So if you need some help in some theory questions, I mean the theory, if you're not thorough with the theory, you can let me know which chapters you need help. We can do that. And as I've been telling you, once we start the 12th portions, we may not have time to come back to 11th portions. So if you have some 11th portions which you have not studied properly, then, it is up to you to, communicate. We can discuss that. My plan was to do some problems from Newton's laws of motion, because many students will have some trouble doing the drawing-based problems. Anyhow, today the agenda is to do the 2025 Neet paper, continuing with that. So, all of you, can you hear me properly? Sachin Patil, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Vedant, okay. Devraj, can you hear me? Okay. So we'll get started.
Yes, sir.
I will switch off my video and I will do the sharing. So if I go back and check this file, I think we have done up to 26 in the last class. Okay, 27. I think this is 12th portion. 28, 11th portion. So we can do this. Movable pistons of radius RA and RB, same pressure, and supplying an equal amount of heat to both the systems. So that means you have something like this, and this is like RA, and that's a piston. So they are saying that you are giving some heat here, which is Q, and that is same over the next case also. So that means so here also the same amount of heat is given, Q. RA and RB, and supplying an equal amount of heat filled with same pressure. So that means P is here, P is also here pressure. Both the systems reversibly under constant pressure. So constant pressure means P delta V, so P is constant. The pistons of gas A and B are displaced by 16 centimeters. So that means this is going up slightly. As you heat this up, the piston will go up. That is 16 centimeter. And this is also going up. And this is given as 9 centimeter. If change in their internal energy is same, that means delta U is same. Then the ratio of RA by RB is equal to. If you want to know where the this material is there in the handbook, you should go to thermodynamics. So let me open that for you. Constant pressure. I think it will take a while. Let's see. Yeah. So constant volume process means volume will be, there will be a stopper like this, and the volume will be not changing, which means Q minus W is equal to delta U. So W will become 0. Why? Because there is no change in volume. Whereas right now we are talking about constant pressure process. So that means P into delta V. So work done is P into delta V. So P is constant, and delta V, they are given the increase in the height, and volume you can calculate from the height and the radius. Okay, so that means we are going to use this concept here. In other words, if I want to elaborate a little more, Q minus W is equal to delta U. I'm sure you should know this first law of thermodynamics. Q is same, delta U is same. That means work done should also be same. So that's the first clue you should take. That means work done in the first case is equal to work done in the second case. What is the work done in the first case? Pressure into delta V. Pressure into delta V. They said pressure is also same. That means pressure is also same. Delta V is nothing but area into volume. This height, area into height. So that means area into height. Area into height. Area is pi r squared. Height is 16 centimeter. Pi rb square. Height is 9 centimeter. So RA by RB will become 3 by 4, because take the square root. So 3 by 4 will be your answer. So very simple, you should know Q minus W is equal to delta U. They have clearly given that this and this are same. So that means work has to be same. So work done is pressure into volume. Pressure is also same initial pressure, constant pressure. So then you should know that volume is nothing but area into height. But here we are not talking about the final volume minus initial volume, because they gave you the height difference. So that means I can directly take area into height, how much height it moved. Okay, very easy problem, nothing very difficult. Constant pressure process, constant volume process, very often you're going to get, right? I would say more than 60-70% of the time, again and again, I have seen this kind of problems. So you should know what to do when you have constant volume process and what to do when you have constant pressure process. Okay, so study them together properly. Constant volume means Q will be taken as mu Cv delta T. Constant pressure process means Q will be taken as mu Cp delta T. I think I have not given it here. Oh, it's here. Yeah. Okay. And very soon I'm going to update some more notes in the 11th portions also. 12th portions I already updated it. So you can go and see that. I think last class also I told you. 11th portions I am still doing some upgrades. So I will be letting you know whenever I am doing some upgrades. A balloon is made of a material of surface tension, yes, and its inflation outlet from where the gas is filled in. It has a small area A. It is filled with a gas of density rho. So that means surface tension here is yes. There is an outlet here which is having an area A, meaning the air will go out through this. Takes a spherical shape of radius R. When the gas is allowed to flow freely out of it, its radius R changes from R to 0. So from say 10 centimeter, it's coming down to 0 centimeter in time t. If the speed v of r of a gas coming out of the balloon depends on r as r power a, and t, what is t? T is the time taken. So time taken is s power alpha, a power beta. So they are given that t is proportional to surface tension alpha, area beta, density gamma, radius, original starting radius, right, initial radius, delta. Then I think they are basically asking you to find A, alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Let me see. Surface tension, it's coming in your fluid mechanics chapter, right? So surface tension, you should know it is force per unit length. Or you must have studied it as energy by area. Okay, if you don't know, you should know this. Because energy is work done is force into distance. This is area is distance into distance. So dd cancels, so I'll be getting force per unit length. Okay, so that means your dimensions force will be ml t power minus 2 divided by length is L. So LL cancels, so I'll be getting m t power minus 2. So that means this is time. So time means m power 0, L power 0, t power 1 proportional to, or you can write it as constant also. Some constant into surface tension is m t power minus 2 power alpha. Area is L square. Density is mass by volume, so m L power minus 3. R is radius, which is length again, so that means L power delta. L power delta. The problem is we don't have, from your mathematics, you should know that 10 standard solving, X, Y, Z solving, or simultaneous equation solving. If you have X and Y unknown, then you should know two equations are required. If you have X, Y, Z, you should know you need three equations. If you have X, Y, Z and something else, P, then you should have four equations. So that means number of unknowns should be equal to the number of equations. Unfortunately, we have so many unknowns here: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, A. So I think we have five unknowns. I don't know if we will have five equations here to solve. So let's try this. So this will become m power alpha and then alpha plus beta. Alpha will come here, gamma will come here, so alpha plus beta. And then L power 2 beta. And this is minus 3 gamma and plus delta. Is there anything else we missed? Okay, T power minus 2 alpha. So if you connect this powers, I will get three equations. From three equations, I can find only three unknowns at the max. I am not going to be able to find five unknowns. Let's see. So alpha plus beta will be equal to 0, right? And 2 beta minus 3 gamma plus del is equal to 0 because this one is 0. And minus 2 alpha is equal to 1. So that means alpha is equal to minus 1 by 2. So we already found one unknown. So alpha is equal to minus 1 by 2. I think I see only this one, right? No other thing has minus 1 by 2. Maybe for checking, we can use one more check. If I substitute it here, beta will become plus 1 by 2. Because alpha plus beta is equal to 0. So that means beta is equal to 1 by 2. Are we doing any mistakes here? Alpha, beta, minus 2 alpha, minus 1 by 2, correct. Okay, minus 1 by 2 goes on the other side, so plus 1 by 2. Yeah, I think I made
gamma.
Gamma, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think I made a mistake here. It's not beta, it is gamma, this one. So that means this is actually gamma. So that means this is also gamma. I can write it one more time. So gamma is equal to 1 by 2. So gamma is equal to 1 by 2. Yes, this is coming correctly. Unfortunately, I don't think we will be able to calculate beta and delta using this information because I know alpha, I know gamma. I can put gamma substituted here, but I don't know beta and delta. But maybe I can double check in these numbers, see whether it is coming correctly, right? Sometimes you see, sometimes if you do it in the regular method, it will take a long time, okay? And in this case, I don't think you will be able to solve it in the right method. So unfortunately, you have to use the trick of substituting these numbers and check whether you are getting it correctly. If I put -1 here, I will get -2 beta or -2 into -1. So -3 gamma, -3 gamma is 1 by 2 plus delta. Delta here is 7 by 2. So will we get 0 here? Add it. -3 by 2. So 4 comes here. 2 into 2, 4. -4. -4 plus -3. -4. -7 by 2. Plus 7 by 2. So I will get 0. Yeah. So that means the A option looks correct to me. Anybody got this answer? I don't know what they have done with these things. I don't know if it is even correct information they are given here. But anyhow, if you have any other method, if you have tried it, you can let me know. But I think this can be solved only by substituting these numbers. Luckily, we had this and this coming out. If we had the same kind of values in some other options, then it would have become even more difficult, right? Luckily, they are not given here. Okay, so if you have any other method, you can share it with me. Otherwise, I think this should work. So basically, it's your first chapter, dimensions based problem. A bob of heavy mass m is suspended by a light string of length L. The bob is given a horizontal velocity v0. So that means it's coming here v0. As shown, if the string gets slack at some point P, making an angle theta from the horizontal, the ratio of the speed v, the bob at point P. So that means this is the speed v here. So they're asking you the ratio of the speed v by v0. This is what is asked. Any ideas? So this is like a vertical circular motion. So vertical circular motion means immediately go to this handbook here. Vertical circular. So vertical circular motion. So very important derivations are given here. So only if you have root of GR at the topmost point, it will do the circling. Only if you give root of phi GR at the bottom of the circle, it will be able to go up to the top. So that means here you should have higher velocity. And as it keeps on going up and to the top, the velocity will slowly decrease. Why? Because it is going against the gravity. And here the velocity will be around root of GR. So that means root of 5 times more at the bottom. And as it comes down, the speed will increase. So that means it's an example of non-uniform circular motion. It's not a uniform circular motion. So sometimes, we use both energy method and force method. Okay, so energy method, many times energy method might be easier and quicker. Another thing to notice here is, look at the bottom point. Tension is acting towards the center because the string is this way, whereas the weight is acting downwards. But look at the topmost point. tension is acting downwards and the weight is also acting downwards, which means here you will see that tension and mg are adding to give the centripetal force. Whereas in some other location like this, in the bottommost point, tension minus the weight mg, that will give you the centripetal force, which means the tension will be higher in the bottommost point. Okay, so go through this very important concepts. Very often they'll ask you questions in vertical circular motion. For some reason, I have seen students skipping this, which is not good. Okay, so study this properly, and if you have any doubts, bring it back. Okay. So to do this problem, the kinetic energy, the total energy here should be equal to the total energy here, right? Law of conservation of mechanical energy. That means I can write potential energy plus kinetic energy, potential energy plus kinetic energy. That's what we are going to use here. And slackened means it is tension is zero. Slackened means it cannot go further. It will just drop down, right? Just minimum tension is there and it is almost like, zero. That's the meaning of slackening. So if you want to make a note somewhere, slackening means tension becomes zero. That's what I given here. Somewhere here, limiting case. So TH is equal to topmost point, TH is equal to zero. But here in this question, instead of giving the topmost point, they are given somewhere here. So that means the problem will be slightly different. As I always say, they may not ask you the same question. They may twist the question slightly. If you know the concept, you can do it. So total energy at bottommost point, let me call this as point A, should be equal to the total energy at point B. Total energy means kinetic energy plus potential energy at A, which means kinetic energy plus potential energy at point B. What is kinetic energy at point A? Half m v naught square. What is potential energy at the bottommost point? Anybody? Potential energy at the bottommost point will be taken as zero because this height will be taken as the potential energy for this point, which means here the height is zero. So this is L and this is theta. This has to be a height of L sine theta. And this is already L here. So that means this is L sine theta. That will help me to find the potential energy here. Half m v square, because velocity at point P, they called it as v. If you want, you can write as Vp. Nothing wrong. Potential energy mgh. So mgh, h is the height from here to here, because I have taken this as zero reference. So L into 1 plus sine theta, because I am taking the L commonly out. So here you can do the standard simplification you can do is m will get cancelled out. 1 by 2 here, there is no 1 by 2 here, so multiply by 2 everywhere. So 1 by 2 will go away and multiply by 2 here. V naught V ratio is what I want. but 2g, so I can't find the ratio with this alone. L sine theta, somehow they have eliminated the L. I don't see L in the solution. Okay, so as I told you, they said slackened, right? Gets slack at some point P. So that means slack means tension is 0. These are all the issues, right? Only if you know this code word or like a trick. If you don't know this, you cannot do this problem. So that means, it just goes up to this point and then it will fall down. It will not make this thing. But maybe it has got some very little velocity. So that means T plus mg sine theta. So mg sine theta. Okay, unfortunately the drawing is very small. I have to show you this one. So that means this is like mg is like this. If this is theta, this is 90 minus theta. So if this is 90 minus theta, everyone listening carefully. So this is theta means this must be 90 minus theta, which means this has to be theta. Which means this will become mg cos theta. And this will become mg sin theta. That means, carefully listen, this force is acting towards the center. So that means tension plus mg sin theta is equal to the centripetal force, mv squared by r. So if you have some difficulties or not clear, I've given you all the concepts here. Okay, so go back and check general point, how to take mg cos theta, mg sin theta, all those things are discussed over here. But in this particular problem, mg sin theta is acting towards the center, right? So because the theta taken is different. So that's why, you have to change the equation like this. Tension is 0, so this goes away. So what is left is m cancels, g sin theta. G sin theta is equal to m is gone, v squared by radius is L. So that means v is equal to gl sin theta. Okay, now I can eliminate L over here to find the V0 and V square. Or I can substitute Lg sin theta over here to find V0 in terms of Lg sin theta. And then I can find the ratio. So it's going to be easy after this. So the thing is, as I always say, whenever you do a problem, find out what is the underlying principle, right? If you don't know this, there is no way you are going to do this problem. If you don't know this, there is no way you can do this problem. So that means you should know the underlying principles. If you don't know the underlying principles, obviously, multiplication division is not going to help you. Multiplication division will help you only if you know the mathematical simplification will help you only if you know the physics concepts. Okay, so that means you should be thorough with all the physics concepts given in the handbooks here. And you have to send me doubts, which are the things you have difficulty. So that means I'm going to call this as equation 1, equation 2 if you want. Okay, all these things can be done much more quickly, but for your benefit, I'm just going step by step so that you don't feel like it's going very fast. And another big problem I have is writing in the computer screen, not an easy thing, right? If I go down like this, I cannot see what is written here. So it's kind of a lot of challenges writing in the computer screen. B naught square is equal to B square plus 2GL 1 plus sine theta. V squared is GL sine theta plus 2GL 1 plus sine theta. Any quick answers? I want V squared by V naught. So V squared by V naught will give me GL sine theta divided by GL can be taken out commonly. So what is left is sine theta plus 2 sine theta. So I'll get 3 sine theta plus 2. That means GL will cancel. So square root of sine theta divided by 3 sine theta plus 2. Sine theta plus 2, 3 sine theta. So that's going to be your answer. Okay. So again, I am repeating, you should know the underlying principles. As I told you, many students skip this vertical circular motion problems. Very, very important. Okay. Very often they will ask you. If you skip things, then you cannot say, sir, Neet questions are very difficult. Well, it is already there in your syllabus. You have not studied it, it is your fault. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
This is also a dimensions-based problem, very easy one. But I think the solution did not have the correct options. If I remember correctly, let's see. A physical quantity is given by this equation. The percentage errors of measurements in A, B, C, D are 1%, 2%, 3%, and 4%. The percentage error in the quantity P is, so that means P is equal to A cube B squared divided by C square root of D. In this problem, it's not very clear to me whether they meant like this or root 2D is it divided here or is it in the numerator or denominator? It's not very clear to me in this question. Because if it is coming in the bottom, they should put some bracket or something, which is not even, okay, doesn't matter for this topic, okay. Okay, where should I go? The very first chapter, units and dimensions, right? So go back and study this, units and dimension, addition, subtraction. Addition, subtraction means you will be adding the absolute values, delta A plus delta B to get delta Z. But multiplication, division means you will not be adding the absolute values, you will be adding the relative errors. This is absolute errors, right? This is relative error. delta A by A, delta B by B. Very interestingly, multiplication division, you will get the same final result. Okay, it's not minus here, it is same addition. Same thing here, addition and subtraction, both of them will be plus. And powers means, look at this. So the 3 will come to the front, B will come to the, square will 2 will come to the front. And division means, remember, it's not minus, it will still be addition here. Okay, so this is a concept we'll be using here. So that means delta P by P is equal to 3 times delta A by A plus 2 times delta B by B plus 1 times delta C by C. This is power 1 by 2. So that means 1 by 2 times delta D by D. That's all. So if you know this, you can do this problem. If you don't know this, you cannot do this problem. They said 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% respectively. So that means A, B, C, D, you can directly take 1% here. 2%, 3%, 4%. This will be 3%. This will be 4%. This will be 3%. This will be 2%. So 7 plus 3, 12, 10, 10 plus 2, 12. So I can't find anything. So I think maybe there is some error here. So maybe this must be 12%. Anybody seeing any errors here? I don't think I've done anything wrong here. Everyone getting
13%. Yes, sir. The answer is 13%.
13%. Are you getting 13%?
Yes, sir.
How? No, maybe you didn't understand what I'm saying. When I add this, I'm getting 12%. I'm asking you, are you getting 13%? 13% varudha, 12%. Anybody else getting that? 13%? I think maybe they made a mistake here. Okay. Or maybe something wrong in the powers here. Okay, maybe I'll double check that later. Yeah. Anybody else, if you find something, you can let me know. Maybe this question paper, they typed it wrongly. Possible, quite possible. நான் சொன்னது புரிஞ்சுதா? இங்க ஆன்சர் நமக்கு
எனக்கு புரிஞ்சுதுங்க சார். ஆக்சுவலி நான் ரொம்ப கிட்ட வந்ததுனால 13% நினைச்சிட்டேங்க சார். ஆக்சுவலி எனக்கு 12% தான் வருது.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is the closest value, so you can choose that. But here also they given it as 1. So I think maybe they did a typo error here. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's not spend too much time in these kind of typo errors. These are all I went through this. These are all very, very easy questions. If you don't know the basic concepts, students keep complaining that it is difficult. But actually, in my opinion, direct formula substitution. If you know the formula, you can do it. If you don't know the formula, you cannot do it. Some problems, yes, I agree that it is difficult. But more than 60%, I think it's direct formula substitution. The sun rotates around its center once in 27 days. What will be the period of revolution if the sun were to expand twice? So that means right now the sun is spinning every 27 days, it completes a rotation. That's what they're saying. What will be the period of revolution if the sun were to expand to twice its present radius? So that means this radius is r. So suppose if it expands to 2r, now they are asking you to find the, omega. How many days? Assume the sun to be a sphere of uniform density. Any ideas? Which one comes to your mind? Which formula comes to your mind?
M omega r square.
M omega r squared. M r omega squared. Okay. M r omega squared is centripetal force. Okay. Any other answers? M r omega squared, I agree that it is centripetal force. Anything else? I would say when something is expanding like this, right, there is no external force coming from outside. Whenever there is no external force coming from outside, which law is applicable? Law of conservation of? Anybody?
What, sir?
Which law is applicable? So when there is no external force acting on a system, right, and suddenly just, internally it is kind of expanding, means law of conservation of angular momentum is valid. Do you agree? We have been doing circular motion problems. So that means you should know that angular momentum conservation means the angular momentum here should be equal to the angular momentum here. Angular momentum means mass into velocity. So in angular momentum, it will be moment of inertia into velocity, angular velocity. So I1 omega 1, I2 omega 2. I1, what is I1? Moment of inertia for this one, which will be, I think it's 2 by 3 or 2 by 5. I don't remember. Anybody remember? Moment of inertia of a sphere.
So 2 by 5 mr square.
2 by 5 mr square. Okay. So very often we may get a confusion 2 by 3 or 2 by 5. So hollow sphere is 2 by 3. Solid sphere is 2 by 5. So that means we should use solid sphere formula. So 2 by 5 mr squared about this axis. So that means always remember, you should know where to go and refer to it. Again and again, I'm telling you, if you are serious about your NEET preparation, I would say take the printout of this handbook, and study it properly. Or at least when you're working some problems, and if you don't know something, you can go and refer to it. So that means this will be 2 by 5 mr squared. Omega, I'm not going to be bothered about, changing the time period. So omega is equal to 2 pi by t time period. So that means I can write this as 2 pi by time period is 27 days. Sir, should I convert it to seconds? Maybe not, because my answer will also be coming in days. I2, they said the same sun is kind of expanding. So that means it didn't gain any mass. But the radius has become 2r. That means moment of inertia now is 2 by 5. M is same, but the r is increased to 2r. So mr squared. So 2r the whole square. Omega 2 is again 2 pi by t. T is x days. I don't know. Okay. Again, if you want to convert it to seconds, you will be wasting your time because your answer is going to be in days. Okay. If you want, you can convert it to 24 hours multiplied by 3,600. So don't waste your time. These are all very direct, easy questions. So get rid of all the unwanted stuff. 2 by 5 m r squared, 2 pi, everything goes away. 2 by 5 m r squared, 2 pi, everything gone. So here I'll be getting 4. So that means x is equal to, x comes here, 4 into 27. Is that right? Do you have that option? 4 into 27, how much is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
28. So 108 days, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the concept here? As the mass goes away from the center, what will happen? The speed will decrease. Speed will decrease means the time taken to rotate will be more. So instead of 27 days, now it takes 108 days. Okay, so very, very easy. But if you don't know that, I have to apply law of conservation of angular momentum in this particular situation, then obviously it's a very difficult problem. If you know it, it's just a matter of mathematics. Okay, and then of course you should know the formula I1 omega 1 and then 2 by 5 mr squared, all those things you should know. And omega is 2 pi by time period, time taken. Many students I have seen, they make the mistake of writing 27 days in place of omega. If you do that, everything will go wrong because 27 is actually coming in the denominator. Time should come in the denominator. Okay, so 2 pi by t. Very easy problem if you have practiced it properly. This is also a very easy problem, right? Only thing, the system is different here. Radius of Martian orbit around the sun is about 4 times the radius of the orbit of Mercury. So that means sun is here, Mercury is here, Venus is here, Earth is here, Mars is here. So that means this is Mercury, this is Mars. This is Sun. This is R. It's 4 times the radius of orbit of Mercury. So that means this is 4R. They are not talked about Venus or Earth, so let us not worry about this one. A Martian year is 687 Earth years. So that means this takes 687 Earth days. Then which of the following is the length of year in Mercury? So that means they are asking you to find the Mercury year. How many Earth days will it take for Mercury to go around the sun? If you already come across this information, I think it is around 88 Earth days. I'm not sure. We can double check that. Yeah, the solution says 88 days. But which concept comes to your mind? Anybody? Anything which connects the radius with the time period? Any concept that comes to your mind? Already already forgotten 11th standard concepts. Did you study something called Kepler's third law?
Yes, sir. Kepler's law. T square is directly proportional to a cube.
A cube or R cube, yeah, you can say A cube or R cube, radius cube. Okay, very good. So that means in the previous problem it was rotation. In rotation we use angular momentum concepts. Here it is revolution. In revolution we use a different concept, which is your Kepler's law. Okay, this one. So T squared is proportional to R cube. So go back and study gravitation. Is a very easy chapter, but you will get a lot of problems like this. Okay, so time period for Mars is T Mars, so that means it will be 687 Earth days square should be equal to some constant into R cube. R cube is 4R the whole cube. That is equation 1 based on Mars. Do write the same thing for Mercury. So I don't know something, so take it as x square, or you can write as t square. T Mercury. And whatever is convenient for you, you can write it. Some constant into R cube. That's all. If you know this, you can do this problem. If you don't know this, you cannot do this problem. My job is to show you how easy it is, right? It's, if you listen carefully, you will see that, oh, if I studied this, I could easily apply it and get the answer. Equation 1 divided by equation 2. K goes away, R cube goes away. So this will be 4 cube. So T squared comes on this side. 4 cube goes division. So 687 square divided by 4 over cube. If I take square root on both sides, time period is equal to 687 divided by 4 cubed root. Because root of this, so it will be like this. So 4 square root of 4 will be 2. 2 power 3 is 8. So that means 687 divided by 8. So do the cancellation. So I think 64. So 8 times 64, 47, 48. So 86. I am getting something close to 86 days. I am not getting 88 days. So again, as I said, there may be some typo errors here. So as long as I'm getting closer, right? As you can see, as radius increases, time period will also increase. As radius decreases, time period decreased. So instead of 687 Earth days, Mercury goes around the Sun in 88 days itself. Any question, any doubts? Please raise your doubts if you have. Otherwise, I will assume that you are doing fine. Okay, very good. Okay, read through this question. Let me get some water. Okay. The sphere of radius r is cut from a larger solid sphere of radius 2r, as shown in the figure. The ratio of the moment of inertia of the smaller sphere to that of the rest part of the sphere about y-axis. So that means they are asking you about this y-axis. What are they asking? I of the smaller sphere divided by I of the rest of the sphere. Okay. And don't forget, the bigger sphere is having a radius of 2r, and the inner sphere will be having a radius of r. Why? Because this entire thing is 2r. That means the radius of the inner sphere will be only r. So let's try to think about only this inner sphere alone, the smaller sphere alone. So if anybody asks me what is the moment of inertia about this axis, just now we saw it, I is equal to 2 by 5 mr squared. You should not have any doubt in this. But now we want the moment of inertia about this y-axis. So that means it's not exactly falling in this center point, it's falling here, which means I have to use parallel axis theorem. Whenever you know some moment of inertia at one axis, I can shift it to another axis using parallel axis theorem. So that means parallel axis theorem says that so I can say that I about y-axis is going to be I through the centroid or center of mass plus this mr squared. So Ig will be 2 by 5 mr squared plus mr squared. However, I think I made a mistake here. The mass here should be connected with the mass of the total sphere because it is cut out from this bigger sphere. That means I'm going to call this as m dash. Why m dash? The cutout region. So this is where it becomes slightly confusing, right? So you should be careful with what we are doing. So that means concepts are already there, right? If you have studied parallel axis theorem, you can do this. But these kind of minute errors we may make. So that means what will happen is for the total volume, listen carefully. For the total volume 4 by 3 pi r cube. R cube is 2r cube. Why 2r? Because the bigger sphere is 2r cube. So for this volume, the mass is capital M. Of course, they are not given that. I'm assuming like that. How much it is for this small volume, which is 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 by 3 pi r cube. That's all. If you know how to write this proportions, ratio and proportions, you will get the answer very easy. Okay, so get rid of all the unwanted things. 4 by 3 pi r cube will get cancelled out. What is left is only 2 by 2 power 3, which is 8. That means m dash is nothing but m by 8. So 2 by 5 m by 8 r squared plus m by 8 r squared. Maybe I could have taken this out commonly. So it will become 2 by 5 plus 1, which is 5 plus 2, 7 by 5. So 7 by 5 m by 8 mr squared. Okay. Don't forget, we have still not started working on the rest part. We are doing only on the small sphere. Only we have finished only this part. So now let us get started with the rest part. Once you know the concept, it's easier. It may be slightly lengthy, don't worry about it. But if you know the concepts, you can definitely do it. So let me put a line here so that you don't confuse. Moment of inertia at this point for this bigger sphere, the rest part. For the bigger sphere, it will be 2 by 5 mr squared. Sorry, 2r square, m 2r square. This is for the sphere without cutting the entire sphere. But now what happened was some of the part is cut out, which means I have to subtract that. So that means the moment of inertia because of this should be removed. Which means this minus I due to the small sphere, which we already found here. So that means 2 by 5 m, this will become 4r squared minus this I small, I get 7 by 5 m by 8. 7 by 5 m by 8 r squared. And don't forget, you have not completed the problem yet. They are asking you the ratio, this by this, which means I small sphere is 7 by 5 m. It's see. So this is equation 2. This is or the result 2, and this is result 1. So basically I want 1 by 2. So this is nothing but equal to 1 divided by 2. So do the math, you will get the answer. So 1 is 7 by 5 m by 8 r squared divided by this entire thing. mr squared I can take it out, so I think it will become 8 by 5 minus 7 by 5 1 by 8 mr squared. So mr squared will get cancelled out. So what is left is, can anyone quickly simplify this and tell me what you're getting? Do that quickly. 7 by 5. So 5 into 8 is LCM, you can take it in the bottom. 5 into 8 is LCM, so that it will get cancelled out. And here I should multiply by 8, so 64 minus 7. Five by 8 cancels, so 7 divided by 64 minus 7. How much is that? 7 divided by 57. See if you have any option like that. 7 divided by 57. Yeah.
First
Option, right? So that means, do you call this as a difficult problem? Yes and no. If you know the concepts, there is very much a possibility that you will make a mistake here. You will take this as a moment of inertia of the smaller sphere. You should know that you have to take the moment of inertia at the given axis, whichever axis they ask, that you have to shift the moment of inertia over here, because turning the sphere about this axis is going to be different if you turn it around this axis. So that means this is the point you should make sure that you put this into your head properly. Okay. Everyone following what I'm saying? Moment of inertia here is different from moment of inertia here. Spinning the sphere like this is easy. Spinning the sphere here will be difficult. Why? Because the mass is moved away from the center. And here also we will make mistake. We will take the moment of inertia for the bigger sphere without the cutout section. You have to do the subtraction here. If you don't do the subtraction here, it will go wrong. And then of course the mathematical simplification, you should not make any errors. So I would say this is a medium difficulty problem. Okay, if you know, even if you know the concepts, there are a lot of loopholes. You can make some mistakes here. A lot of tricks involved, so you can make some mistakes here. So practice well. In my opinion, you should practice the JEE main problems also. Okay, I would say these questions or JEE main type of problems you have to practice. Those things are 12th problems. Man weighs 9. Okay, let's do 39. A body weighs 48 Newton on the surface of the earth. So that means surface of the earth means somewhere here, right? On the surface. The gravitational force experienced by the body due to the earth at a height equal to 1/3 radius of the earth from its surface. So that means they are putting it at a height edge, which is 1/3 of the radius of the earth. So when they take it to this height, like a rocket, for example, they say that the gravitational force is what is asked. So that means they're asking you to find the F2. This is F1. F1 is given as 48 Newton. Any formula that comes to your mind?
R squared.
R squared, yeah. So write it for the two equations and equation 1 by equation 2. Very simple. Okay. You see, we have been doing so many problems which are based on the simple method, which is equation 1 divided by equation 2. If you do that, you will get the answer. Yeah, I call it as equation 1 by equation 2 method. They are not given any masses. Doesn't matter, because I can take this as mass of the earth as m1, this as mass of the second body as m2. So divided by r squared. R squared is this capital R squared. That is given as 48 Newton. The second case, I don't know the mass of the earth, doesn't matter. I don't know the mass of the body, doesn't matter. And the location is not r squared, it is r plus r by 3. This is where many of you will make a mistake. It is not r by 3, it is r plus r by 3. You should understand this is height from the surface, and from the center of the mass of the earth, you have to add the total. That's why I keep on saying, if you make some proper drawing, it's very easy. At least when you are practicing right now, you should make some proper drawings. And that is what is asked. So that means, again, I have to write F2. After this simple story, equation 1 by equation 2. Any 5th standard kid can do it. R squared, take it out commonly, so R squared will also go away. But don't forget, you have 1 plus 1 by 3 the whole squared, so that should not be forgotten. F2 will go here, and this will be going to the top. And when it comes on this side, it will become division. So F2 is equal to 48 divided by 1 plus 1 by 3 the whole square. This is also a place where many of you will make a mistake. When you take a body away from the earth, the force will get reduced. That means from 48, the value will reduce. Of course, all the values are reduced, which is good. So you should know that this value should be coming in the bottom. If you don't know, just think about it. Reciprocal means this will go to the top, so this will go here, which means when it comes on this side, it will become denominator. Okay. If you have doubt that, you have to, do it a little more slowly. Let's all simplify this, we'll get the answer. Any answers? 3 plus 1, 4, 4 by 3, the whole square. How much are you getting?
27, sir.
Okay, if you are getting it, then that's fine. Because I think you will get 4 squared, 16, 16, 48, it will be 3 times. 3 into 3 square, it will become 9 into 3, so 27. Yeah, all right. Okay. And if anybody says this is a difficult problem, I would not agree, because it's a very simple problem. In all your CBSE exams and state board exams, I'm sure they will ask you these kind of questions, so you should know how to solve this. Twelfth portion. This is a Vernier-based question. Very often they'll ask you this Vernier-based question, which I don't think many of you study this in the theory when you study in the 11th portions. Go to the very first chapter. I given a lot of useful information. Of course, your state board book also has a lot of pictures in Vernier. I think you can go and take a look at it. So very, very commonly asked question, very important type of question, right? So you should know that in Vernier, the way the system works is, you will have, for example, if I have 10 Vernier divisions, right? In this case, I think you have, maybe I can zoom it in. So look at that. I have 5 into 10. So that means you have 50 divisions. But when you match it with the main scale division, it not match exactly at 50. It will match at 49. Can you see that, everyone? Very important. So only if you know this, you will understand this concept. So that means the Vernier, the way it is created, or what do you say, it is designed, is the Vernier scale division will be more and the main scale division will be less to match this. So that means n VSD is equal to n minus 1 MSD, Vernier scale, main scale. So that means 1 VSD is equal to n minus 1 divided by n. And that's how you have to calculate the least count. So least count is equal to 1 MSD minus 1 VSD. That means 1 VSD is n minus 1 n. So that means do the math, n and n will cancel. So I will get least count as 1 by n into MSD. Okay. So should I remember all these things? Probably not. Okay. If you remember this, it will be sufficient. But in some questions like what we are having right now, you may have to remember all these things. Only then you can apply the numbers here. So n is the number of Vernier scale divisions. So 1 MSD divided by number of Vernier scale divisions. So I given some examples also here. Let's see if I can do the problem with this formula alone. Consider the diameter of a spherical object being measured with the help of a vernier caliper. Suppose it's 10 vernier scale division are equal to 9 main scale division. The least division in the main scale is 0.1 centimeter. That means this is given as 0.1 centimeter. And the zero of the vernier is at x is equal to 0.1 centimeter when the jaws of the vernier calipers are closed. If the main scale reading for the diameter is 5 centimeter and the number of coinciding vernier division is 8, the measured diameter after zero error correction is. Number of vernier scale division is given as 10. That means this will be 0.01 centimeter. Okay. That means it's like 0.1 millimeter. That's the meaning. Whenever you have a vernier scale, right? So go back, all these concepts are given clearly in this. So if you want the total reading, you should do main scale reading plus vernier scale reading. How to find vernier scale reading? Main scale reading is given as 5 centimeter. How to find the vernier scale reading? You should find where it is coinciding. So that means look at this. Maybe I will try to zoom it in. So you see, these lines are not coinciding. Somewhere around the 7th division, you can see the 30 line and this one perfectly coinciding. So that means I will take this as a 7th coincidence. So 7th division is coinciding. That means 7th coinciding multiplied by the least count of the vernier. That will give me the vernier scale division. Okay, in the example which I have taken. So do the same thing over here. Very, very simple problem. So please listen carefully. So vernier scale reading is equal to least count multiplied by the nth coincidence. Least count just now we found 0.01 centimeter. Multiplied by, read this, and the number of coinciding vernier division is 8. So that means here it is 8. That means this is going to be 0.08 centimeter. Main scale reading is given as main scale reading of the diameter is 5 centimeter. So that means MSR is given as 5 centimeter. So if you don't have a zero error, the total reading is equal to MSR plus VSR, which is equal to 5 centimeter is equal to 5 centimeter plus 0.08 centimeter, which means 5.08 centimeter. This is without zero error correction. But read the question carefully, to make it slightly difficult, not very difficult, slightly difficult. What they said is the zero of the vernier is not matching perfectly with the zero of the main scale. So what it means is, again, I will go to this picture. Look at this. The zero of the vernier should match with the zero of the main scale. Can you see that? But when when the jaws are touching each other, because you don't have anything here, which means it has to be zero. But if you don't get this zero, if this was moved one division this way, that means we will call this as zero error. Okay, so that is what is your zero error. So go back and study all these things. Very, very important. Very easy. Okay, in your state board book also, I think very nice explanations are given. I have taken some pictures from the vernier in the lab over here, but every vernier is slightly different, so it may not be having the same numbers. For example, see, the vernier which I had here was 0.02 millimeter least count. The vernier which they are giving here is 0.01 centimeter. So that means the least count will be different. Okay, coming back to this zero error, we need to do the correction for zero error. Let's see. Let's read the question one more time here. When the jaws of the vernier calipers are closed, it is giving me x is equal to 0.1 centimeter. So that means that is a zero error. Okay. So that means it is positive zero error because it is plus here. Always remember, positive zero error means I have to do a negative zero error correction. Very important. Okay. Negative zero error means positive zero error correction. Okay. I'm sure you must understand this, because when the error is positive, you have to correct it. How do you correct it? By subtracting it. If the error is negative, then how do you correct it? By adding that value. So that means zero error and zero correction will be opposite. So let me see if I have given that information somewhere for you. I'm sure I must have given that somewhere. Yeah, I think I've given it here. Okay, under errors, zero error positive, zero correction will be negative. Zero error negative means zero correction will be positive. Okay, so it's given here. Okay, coming back to the question, zero error is plus 0.1 centimeter. Zero correction will be minus 0.1 centimeter. That means put it over here. So 5.08 centimeter minus 0.10 centimeter, and this will be 8, this will be 10 minus 1, 9, 5 already lost 1, so that means it will be 4.98 centimeter. Let's see if you have anything called 4.98. Yeah, so 4.98 is your answer. Any doubts? Are you getting how to find the total reading, MSR plus VSR, how to find VSR, how to find zero error? Yes. Very, very useful problem, very often asked. Okay. Again, I would say for people who are saying very difficult, I would say they did not do the past paper questions. All these things are already asked in the past paper. If you don't do the past paper and if you say it is difficult, then nobody can do anything. So again, first of all, do all your textbook problems, then do the past paper Neet question problems, and then you should also do the main JE main questions problems. Okay, you have to do some practice. Physics is not going to be easy, right? So only if you practice it, you will get it. Any doubts, Vedant? Are you following?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, very good. Sachin Patel, following everything? Already gone. Okay. Anybody else? Everyone following this? I think there is one more problem. Maybe I'll send the solution in the online, right? I will update it and I will send you. Because this is like a completely mathematics problem. I don't think you have the formula for radius of curvature, right? So only if I know the radius of curvature formula, you can do this. Okay, I will update it and I will send it to you in the groups. Only this one was missing, so this one alone I will add it, because even if I take it, you don't know the mathematics behind it. It's completely a mathematics problem. Maybe you'll study some radius of curvature in your 12th standard. Is that okay, everyone following that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. If you have any doubts, please let me know. And next class, we will do some more rotational motion problems, which we didn't complete because we jumped to the Neet 2025 problems. Okay, and we'll finish the rotation motion problem and then go to the Newton's laws of motion problem. Okay, thank you all. If you have any doubts, feedback, please let me know. We will do it accordingly. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.